Route 66, the greatest American road trip, is turning 100 years old. So to celebrate, we went out on the Mother Road inch by inch through 8 states, nearly 2,500 miles and 3 time zones from Chicago to Santa Monica. That would include Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. And on today's episode, I'm going to show you the 33 highlights of Route 66 and then help you figure out how to see them, whether you've got 2 weeks, a week, or just a few days. Because when I returned home from the journey, the number one question that people asked me was this: what was the single best thing you saw on Route 66? And that's impossible to answer. The neon of Tulsa? The wigwams of Arizona? Elvis in Illinois? Route 66 gives people a rare chance to see America the way it used to be, while watching the landscape and the culture change mile by mile. The number one attraction ain't a stop, it's the journey. And would you settle for 33 great stops along the way? Before we get to them, a quick thank you to Best Western Hotels and Resorts for supporting Photowalks. We stayed in 15 Best Westerns on this trip, affordable, convenient roadside hotels with friendly people behind the desk who always knew what was worth seeing nearby. And don't forget about those free morning breakfasts. Shout out to the Texas Best Western waffles, which tasted great and looked a little different from any other waffle that we've ever had, Texas style. Okay, part 1 is the highlights. We will begin in Illinois because Route 66 began there in 1926, created to stitch together existing roads into one continuous highway, connecting rural America to its cities. We begin in Chicago, which was America's industrial hub at the time. And you know, most people will spend a couple of days there with architecture tours, walking up and down State Street and Michigan Avenue, deep dish pizza, and of course a selfie in front of the Route 66 Begins Here sign. After that, you're going to take down the road, but stop first at Lou Mitchell's, the unofficial first restaurant of Route 66, for their classic breakfast.
We get people that come from every corner of the earth to start their trips with motorcycles, Corvettes, tour buses, RVs. They've been through.
From there, it's on to 66 and driving through rural Illinois, where in no time, you will get your first Elvis sighting on the side of the road, along with the Blues Brothers, Marilyn and James Dean. We'll be seeing a lot more of them as well. As we continue, I want to show you my 2 favorite Illinois stops, starting with the town of Pontiac. Here you have wonderful murals, a fantastic museum, and a great walking tour through town. Just about a mile or so from downtown, there's a cool little diner that had everything I'd ever hoped for. The Old Log Cabin Inn, vintage everything, a grilled cheese sandwich, and the best milkshake of the entire trip. Thank you very much. You will see 2 Springfields on this trip. Both are very memorable. The first is an ode to Abe Lincoln, who was not born in Springfield, Illinois, but it's where he practiced law. In the town, which is a state capital, it's a tribute to Honest Abe. It has a wonderful museum devoted to Lincoln that may shock you at just how great and world-class it is, even in small Springfield. Food alert! Corn dogs were said to be invented in Springfield at the Cozy Dog Diner. When we got to St. Louis, I wasn't thrilled. We got into a lot of traffic there, and the experience was anything but the great open road that I had hoped for and expected. But 2 stops did stick out. The Gateway Arch, rising 630 feet, is the largest monument in the United States. It's a reminder that once you cross the Mississippi River, you were officially headed west.
The Gateway, you know, it's iconic in itself. You know, it's not original, but it actually just speaks volumes about America. You know, this is the way forward, and don't look back.
And the Chain of Rocks Bridge, once carrying Route 66 traffic across the river, is now open to walkers and cyclists, and it's one of the most photogenic bridges on the road. Next, onto the other Springfield, where I had the best Western experience of the trip. Check it out. Elvis, 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 in our pink Cadillac bed. Our pink Cadillac bed that we could also lounge in. Talk about a hunk of love. In Missouri, I also love the rather large bowling alley on the side of the road, the 66 Drive-In movie theater near Joplin, and the rolling green grass of the countryside. In Kansas, you get just 13 miles of Route 66, but they do matter. In Galena, you will find the gas station that inspired Cars. You'll know it when you see it.
I think to a lot of people, especially the Europeans, it's post-war America. You had Harley Davidson, Marlboro, Levi's. It was a certain nostalgia that is or was America. The real heyday of post-war America, the American road trip, the Kool-Aid, the thermos, the roadside rest stop. So they're wanting to experience that.
Oklahoma has the longest drivable stretch of Route 66, over 400 miles, and you will begin in Tulsa, which stands out for its neon on 11th Street, the Art Deco architecture in downtown, and 2 world-class museums devoted to Bob Dylan and Woody Guthrie. Oklahoma City is mighty pretty, but the magic is outside the city, like the Round Barn, the back roads through Luther, and the towns like Stroud, home of the Rock Café, whose owner inspired the character Sally in the Pixar film Cars. This will not be our only Cars reference.
You're watching Photowalks TV from Shamrock, Texas.
In Texas, you go through a stretch of the northern area starting in Shamrock with the great old classic neon-filled diner You Drop In Café. There's not much else there, but the diner's a must-stop, and if you stay overnight at the Best Western next door, you will get those great Texas waffles I told you about, and in Amarillo as well. In this little city, you'll pull over to the side of the road to see 10 Cadillac cars planted in dirt. You'll pick up some spray paint and have some fun adding your take. You'll probably also want to have dinner at the Big Texan. Believe it or not, we are now only halfway home, but you've got to stop in Adrian and the Midpoint Café, where you'll want to get your picture taken at the Midpoint for a classic photo op. New Mexico might be the prettiest surprise because this is where the landscape begins to change in front of your very eyes, and you will see some of the best neon anywhere beginning in Tucumcari, from the Blue Swallow Inn to the TP Curio Shop.
We have a lot of murals around town painted on businesses and just buildings from local artists and artists from the college. But we also have a lot of neon signs downtown representing the mom and pop hotels and some of the restaurants.
Tucumcari is a neon-rich town that at one time was a major Route 66 stop before the highway relegated it to the sidelines. Some of the neon signs are so great, however, you've got to stop. And if you're lucky like I was, it will be raining and the neon will be richer than usual. Don't forget, smartphones are water resistant. Grants has one of those shields that people love to drive through, and a fun antique car museum is just up the road in Santa Rosa. Santa Fe, everybody knows Santa Fe in New Mexico. It was originally on Route 66, but the road was later rerouted to Albuquerque, which still delivers great Route 66 diners, neon, and some pretty good food. Gallup is our last New Mexico stop, known for Native American jewelry and classic roadside meals.
You're watching Photowalks from Route 66.
Whoa!
Arizona happens to be my favorite of the Route 66 states, as there are more highlights here for my money than anywhere else. We got to begin with Holbrook and the Wigwam Hotel, because even if you don't want to stay there, you're just going to want to check it out. Have you slept in a wigwam lately? Plus, the Petrified Forest is right around the corner. Winslow, Arizona, where a member of the Eagles wrote about standing on a corner, taking it easy. It's a fun pit stop. But Winona, as in don't forget about Winona from the song, is very forgettable because there's nothing there. Did you know, however, that the singer Winona Judd and the actress Winona Ryder were both named after the town? In Flagstaff, Route 66 goes right through the town, and if you have time to stop, the observatory and park are a great place to look up at the night skies. Up the road is Seligman, a little town that was once thriving and left to die when the highway banished Route 66. Many years ago, a local barber fought the state to bring business back and succeeded by having the state declare Route 66 a historic road. Now people come to pay their respects to him and the diner next door, operated by his late brother. The Hackberry General Store doesn't sound like much, but it's actually one of the most photogenic, instantly relatable Route 66 stops anywhere, with a terrific Route 66 shield down on the road. Great photo op. Hackberry looks like Route 66 never left, which is exactly why so many people stop there. Our last Arizona stop is the road from Kingman to Oatman, which is my favorite driving stretch of the journey. The road is a car manufacturer's commercial dream with winding curves and great desert scenery. Then once you get to Oatman, you can mingle with the mules in what is a real old western town. Finally, we close in California, where the highlight is Roy's in Amboy, a town with little beyond a gas station, a gift shop, and that incredible neon sign. After you pass through Barstow, which has seen better days, Victorville will take you to the wild Bottle Tree Ranch, a bunch of old soda bottles presented in a quirky museum. As you continue up the road, you can detour to Joshua Tree, which is not on Route 66, and end up in South Pasadena, home to the Fair Oaks Pharmacy with a classic soda jerkin fountain, and then you can close off your Route 66 tour triumphantly at the Santa Monica Pier, where it all ends.